Look. All right, Sean. So we're gonna just go down the list in chronological order from the first event to the last one. I've watched all of them. I'm gonna talk about what I think, which one I think won, and which one I think shit the bed. Square Enix.
I could not watch them, so I will just put in 2 cents and bullshit.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain to you in detail why I think Square shit the bed. So don't worry, you will have a vivid image of what happened. So first things first, started with the Summer Game Fest kickoff, which basically was like the little pre-event view kind of shit. Showed off some stuff for Battlefield, the 2042 reveal, the trailer that everyone went crazy with the Rendezvous and all that other shit. I think that's how you pronounce it, Rendezvous. Basically a community moment from the game that was really big. That came from, I think it was Battlefield 3. I think it was Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, whatever. It's not that important. Big community event. DICE paid, or EA DICE paid a lot of attention to it. They basically made the trailer exactly what the game would look like. You had people driving vehicles into others, and instead of it being like, oh, we're
good.
Yeah, we're all like, yeah. Instead of it like being like all serious warfare, it's like this is what the gameplay will be like. This is what you'll experience, which is cool, but it's doing what a trailer should do. It's like pandering to the community. It's like, please buy our game. We know we fucked up a few times, and do our stuff. Buy our stuff, please. Please spend money on our game. So like, hey, it reminds me 100% that meme. I don't know what it's from, but it's that dude walking down the hallway, old fucking guy, and he's got like the cool skater boys, like, hello fellow kids, how are we doing and shit like that, like trying to like, yeah, we pay attention to the community when we want to, and you guys need to buy our games. They also showed off Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a spin-off of the Borderlands series. It's
Tiny Tina is the last, probably my favorite character outside of the main cast.
Yeah, I love her to death, and she was really cool in 3 as well. I didn't expect to find her at all, but it was cool seeing her like all grown up and shit. It's
you know how they? I don't remember how they found her. I think but she.
You were following you found Brick because she's still with Brick or some shit like that, if I recall correctly. And you find Brick.
No. I mean the voice actress. Like when I told Perry how much I loved Tina, when Borderlands 2 first came out, he showed me some YouTube videos of her just goofing off at her house, like the actress, the voice actress, and like doing Tina's voice. And I think she was with some family or friends or some shit like that. And if I remember correctly, and I'm not going on because again, this memory is a little fuzzy, but I think they found her just from these goofball YouTube videos that she did with her friends and family. I think she might have already been an established character actress by that voice actress by that point in time, but I know that it was the popularity of her goofy videos or some shit like that that really got her in, if I remember correctly. You
That's
guys
cool.
can check that out.
I mean, there's a lot of,
if that is true, if my memory is not full of shit, that's kind of a neat story. I think one of the devs saw her do that video or her goofing around with voices or some shit like that, and they said, oh, we've got to have her.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like talent that has been found through YouTube. I know when Asking Alexandria, when they, because their main singer, he had issues with his vocals from doing it for so long, and he had to go get surgery, and he didn't want to do the screaming anymore. So they went to go find another singer, and the way they found him was literally from covers he did of their music on YouTube. Like, this dude fucking rocks, and they brought him on, and he was in their group for a while. I think they had some kind of falling out, and then eventually he left again, and then they reformed with the dude doing a different style of music.
They did that with a lot of classic rock bands when the singers can't.
Oh yeah, I know when they did.
Like Boston did that.
Yeah, when there's like a cover, like I don't know exactly what you call it, but it's a band that redoes the music for, I think it was oh my god, they did do what they're really Pink Floyd. Holy fuck, it's like a fan group for Pink Floyd. A lot of their talent is just from people that did covers on YouTube and shit. It's like that's how I found a lot of people. So, but that's cool. I always love that, like just how far like shit stretches out when I'm telling you, Shawn, one day, bro, someone's gonna listen to our Sonic fanfiction porn. We're gonna get recruited for something. I'll tell you what. Either that or Arrested. Either or. But also Elden Ring was shown off. Elden Ring looks fucking awesome. It's the latest game from Software. It's also being co-written by what's his name? George R. R. Martin, guy behind Game of Thrones and stuff. That's pretty cool.
That game's been in production for like 100 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think there was an initial announcement at 2019 E3, from what I recall. And then it's been a while, and they went completely silent. They haven't said shit about it. And then now we finally are getting gameplay and other stuff. It looks really cool. The only thing that kind of bothers me is that it seems like a lot of it's like open world-esque, and Dark Souls has really never been about that. A lot of it's kind of shit. That's not the best way to say that. A lot of the footage they shown was in open areas. That doesn't mean shit about the actual game, and there were actually a lot of areas they showed that looked more Dark Souls-esque. Because Dark Souls has always been about, like, purposely, like, building, like, their level design has been immaculate, and it always has been from the From Software titles. They have amazing level design, and when you go and say, hey, open world, you throw a lot of that out of the window because you need to keep, and again, this isn't saying the game will be open world, but there'll be areas that will be larger. When you have an area that's just a flat land, it's a little bit harder because you need to account for the player freedom to make everything so painstakingly detailed kind of thing, which is what they do with, and this is level design, not appearance, graphics, none of that shit. This is how the levels are created and how they funnel the player through the different encounters that they design. So being in an open area, it seems like that takes a bit away from the soul, but it depends how often they use it. And I have a lot of faith in FromSoft to know how their fucking game works. It's fucking FromSoft, so I'm sure it will be fine, and it looks amazing. Crazy fights. The dude's horse does a double jump in the middle of a boss fight. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It looks awesome. So I can't fucking wait to see how it turns out. It's going to have 4-player co-op, from what I understand. It looks dope as shit. So that was original.
I didn't tell you. I played Hellpoint. I forgot about that.
Yeah, me and Tyler did too.
And my my offspring is a fan of even though they you know, they're not necessarily the greatest at playing the games. They're a fan of those types of games.
Yeah, the Souls-like.
And I was playing Hellpoint. I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. This isn't like, I played some difficult games. I've never played games that were made intentionally specifically for difficulty. Because the original NES game weren't made specifically with that in mind. At least as far as I know, like they were made to be fun and just ended up being hard as shit. But I played up to a certain point and I was like, hey, this isn't too bad. These enemies are pretty easy to deal with. I mean, I can see how it could be challenging when you get in a group or something like that, and they do a lot of damage, but I think I can handle this. This isn't so bad. And I had left the main area, the first hub area with doors going in different directions, where the first elevator is. I'd left that area like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was trying to farm the axiom or whatever that shit is that you pick up.
Yeah, the souls pretty much.
And Ash had mentioned, they're like, oh yeah, well the base level enemies, like they're not difficult. I'm like, I don't know about that because the base level enemies tore me a new asshole a couple times in Bloodborne.
Those ones,
like that game was difficult from the very fucking beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't seem too bad. I think I can do this. And I rounded the corner. And a fucking 30-foot tall demon man with a giant, whatever, like a halberd with dead things on it, rounds the corner that was not there the last 4 passes through. I'm like, oh shit! And then, like, every time he hits the ground, he kills half of his own forces. And I just booked and jumped in the elevator and went back upstairs. And he's been there ever since. Nice. And I have no idea. Like now, and then there's this dude that walks back and forth, or a couple of dudes that walk back and forth in a hallway at the top of the elevator, and they 1-hit you or 2-hit you.
The Templar looking guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Tyler
look like cool statues.
Me and Tyler played up to like where you set up the connection to go into the hell point or whatever. We played a couple hours. It was pretty good. I think a problem with those games a lot of the time is playing co-op kind of breaks the difficulty. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're doing anything, you'll just let one of you take aggro, they'll dodge, and the other person just wails on them from the back every fucking time.
I'm okay with that. I just want to play the game with people.
But the cool thing about it is that game is the friendliest cooperative Dark Souls-like experience I've played. It is really good. Like, if your host dies, you don't get kicked out, you just get brought back with them. If you die, you can be revived. A lot of it is like, and you can play through the whole game. In the regular Souls games, Shawn, you'll have areas where you cannot play with your friend. They have to get to a certain point, then they can resummon you. But with this,
bells or whatever.
Yeah, with this, once you're connected, you're just in it, and you can play the whole fucking game side by side, which I think is awesome.
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's fun, but it's much more like Dark Souls and had horror, like definitive horror elements to it.
Yeah.
But it was like dark, horrific fantasy. And then Bloodborne was 100% horror. But this is like a very different, like Bloodborne was classic horror movie monster horror, almost like a very film.
It reminds me a lot of like what's that game, the sim game that everyone fucking loves, with the rogue AI? Fucking shit.
I don't know, but the Hellpoint's like Hellraiser fucking horror. It's some really fucked up shit.
Tangentially related, Hellraid mode and Dying Light's fucking awesome. I saw that they had a Dying Light fucking crossover with Dust at all fucking things. That's weird.
They've done that Rust, by the way. But yes,
Rust.
They've done that
God
before,
damn it.
Though.
Whatever. I was
That's
thinking
an old crossover.
But yeah, super excited for Elden Ring. I hope, like, speaking of like how Hellpoint handles its co-op, I hope Elden Ring works that way. I really do not like how unfriendly the game is to playing it with others, because that's how I enjoy playing it. I understand if you want to play, like, you can still play it by yourself, but that doesn't mean you have to actively sabotage the other experiences because they're all optional. I never understood that when games would do this, where like, hey, you can play your friends, but we're going to actively sabotage your multiplayer experience to make it worse, even though all of this is an optional thing. You can still play it solo if you want to. I never understood that shit. But I'm kind of excited for Elden Ring. I also heard there's some kind of like capturing mechanic where you can like capture spirits and summon them in fights as like phantoms or some shit, which sounds kind of interesting. So there's like an AI that you can bring in, which is pretty cool. Again, it really depends how they design the fights, but a lot of those games, since a lot of the enemies are designed for like one-on-one like fights, the game just falls apart difficulty-wise when you're playing with others. You can literally just sit there and wail on people and shit. But yeah, Hellpoint's been fun so far. Very, very much double A. But still pretty cool experiences so far. It's been pretty interesting. So yeah, Elden Ring's cool, but outside of the original kickoff, we have Ubisoft. Ubisoft comes in. They were the first event. They showed off some Far Cry 6. Don't give a fuck.
Raping or molesting?
Really? No.
Because they would just start including that as part of their presentation now, since it's so ingrained in their culture.
Yeah, the CEO actually just comes on stage and fucks the nearest woman in the audience. I know it was a digital event.
It could be a dude. There were a couple of dudes that were harassed by women.
Fucks the nearest ass. Fucks the nearest ass. Does that work? Okay. They're bringing out. They showed off some more of the Tom Clancy zombie game that they're bringing out, the quarantine game, which is interesting. I
wish they'd stop using his fucking name. No, I'm not even a fan of Tom Clancy, but I mean, why?
Yeah,
that has absolutely nothing to do with him. That's like making a Toyota.
It's very far detached at this point. Yeah, it's weird because even with like the multiplayer game, I can understand it because it still has the quote unquote tactical shooter. It's just a multiplayer experience, but this is literally zombies. Why the fuck is Tom Clancy's name on this? And we know the answer. It's because the name, the IP, all that shit we know.
Ka-ching.
Yeah, but I was very surprised to see fucking a limited time game mode be made into a full ass game. That is very interesting. It does look like shit too. From what I saw in the trailer, it does look very graphically. So I don't know. I liked what the event was. There was a lot. Like, that was one of the best events they did because it was an event. I don't know how it would stretch into or scale into a full game, but it was
the one they used in Rainbow Six.
Yeah, the event in Siege. That event was legitimately fucking awesome because it was an event. But we would have to see how they scale it into a game. I still think it's cool. I like the idea, and if I could get it on sale, I might try it. But I'm not paying $60 for this game. Yeah, I know, right? Free event, now it's a $60 game.
$70.
That's
$70
Ubisoft
now.
It depends. A lot of PC games that have been talking about like they'll still keep their $60 price tag because there's the range of people playing would be still playing on lower hardware. But a lot of the first party PlayStation titles and shit like that are 70, yeah. But we may see computer keep that $60 price tag. Even then, you can go on like fucking Green Man Gaming and get it like 15% off like 9 times out of 10, or find some other site because there's so much competition between the sites. You can easily get a sale even before the game comes out. I've done it a few times already. Outside of that, they showed off some game called Riders Republic. Looks okay if you like sports stuff. I was kind of a fan. Like, they had a snowboarding game that was like this. It was a couple things, but it took place on a snowboarding mountain. You could ski and do other shit. But I like the idea of like this open world that just has a bunch of shit, kind of like Skate, but you just like play with an MMO kind of thing. We just play with a bunch of people and everyone's like playing in different parks and doing tricks and shit like that. It looked kind of interesting, but I'd never pay full price for a game like that. They showed off the new Mario and Rabbids game, which is like probably the only good thing Ubisoft still has, because those games are cool as shit. Basically XCOM Mario style. It looked really good, and the first one was really good. So I'm interested to see where it goes. They showed off Rocksmith. Don't give a fuck. But one thing that was, you know what they showed off, Shawn? You may like this. Not Beyond Good and Evil 2. They didn't show off Beyond Good and Evil 2, even though everyone's asking for Beyond Good and
Evil 2. I don't want them to have something that good anymore. I want that to go to somebody else.
True.
That'll handle it right.
Outside of that, you know what they did show off though? Frontiers of Pandora, a fucking Avatar game.
Why? The sad part is the last Avatar game they released looked like it was going to be amazing.
That was trash.
And should have been amazing, and it ended up being the most average piece of dog shit imaginable.
Yeah.
And I was so, because I loved that movie. Like, I'm one of the few people that still stands by that movie. Everybody else does bubblegum, they don't care. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a very fun movie, and I'm still pissed off they killed Michelle Rodriguez. Why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah,
But I would love that. That world is ripe for having a fantastic, story and being able to explore it, and just pretty visuals and fun gameplay. It should have a game, but it should have a good game. But they let the property lie fallow for so long.
Yeah. Interesting thing.
Like the movies, like, it's not a pop culture anything anymore. Like its relevance is gone. So I don't understand. I guess they're trying to jump in ahead of the
because the next movie is like in December of next year or some shit, from what I recall.
Yeah, I don't really get the.
You know what? Imagine they make this game and the movie gets delayed again.
It's like, Cameron should have not fucking put that shit off. But I think that it's a good property to make a game out of, out of, if you had somebody that
it's being made by
making it.
Yeah, it's being made by the Division 2 team.
Oh, great.
So it might be a live service game. I have no clue what.
Well, it's Ubisoft, so
yeah. I have no clue how you even do that, and I don't have a lot of faith that it would be good. We'll see. I'm not going to completely write it off, but
the trailer looked fine.
It was all cinematics, though.
It was all cinematics, and
I fucking
even then, I mean, it did less than the trailer for the original game did. Now, obviously, you got to understand that came out 50 years ago, but when the first movie came out. But even then, it did less to wow me than the trailer from the original one did. Like, I don't understand any of their planning with this game.
Yeah, and there's still nothing about I know they're remaking one of the Prince of Persia games, which actually looked incredibly bad whenever they did show.
Yeah, they were supposed to be remaking the first soft reboot, the first
Sands
3D one, Sands of Time,
yeah,
which was of the first 3 or 4 installments, counting that one as the first one of that new generation of Prince of Persia games, were phenomenal.
I don't have faith
in it. They started losing their way around the 2 Princes or so. I think was about when they started losing it.
Yeah, no Splinter Cell stuff. Although I think we're due for a Splinter Cell experience. Although I have no faith in Ubisoft to do it right, so I'd rather them just give it to someone else. But yeah, are you excited for Splinter Cell, the completely multiplayer game that has no campaign? I'm
not at
excited.
all. No. If it's not a Splinter Cell games, fucking trying to cram Sam Fisher as a rogue operative was dumb enough as it is, but they've got him in a mobile game and now they want to fucking whatever, man. I don't give a shit. Like if they're not gonna sit there
lost.
and
It's like, yeah, I know. Ubisoft, yeah.
Fucking Castlevania is all but dead. They just recently, thank God, resurrected Mega Man with a wonderful title.
It's funny because we just shit all over Ubisoft, and I still don't think it was the worst presentation.
Well, we're shitting on Ubisoft because Ubisoft is shitty. It's not really their presentation that we're shitting on.
Yeah, but they just didn't have anything to show. Next is Xbox. Xbox, I think, actually had a pretty good showing for what they popped off with.
Microsoft isn't going to fuck up like they did that one year. They've been extra careful ever since then.
Yeah, they've been building their army, bro, buying up all these studios, trying to set themselves up as a like really solid competitor in first-party titles to PlayStation.
They're just always going to be Microsoft.
And
they can't change that.
You know what's funny as fuck to me is that so they showed off Starfield, like 30 seconds of it. It's a space game. They showed off a space game
with a name like Starfield, really? You don't say.
Yeah. So they showed it off, and I think it's like coming. I don't fucking know when it's coming. I think it's like 2022. I have to look it up. Oh,
I would love for them.
I think it's 2022.
Another science fiction RPG. Like, I mean, a real RPG. Like, I'd love to see them do.
Yeah, it's the end of 2022.
Science fiction one.
All right, but my friend was telling me about Mega Man Battle Network still has an active community. Of course it does. It was a phenomenal game series, and they fucking threw it away. So people are going to be mad. They hold it on through spite. So I fucking love those games. Mega Man Battle Network is a phenomenal game series. All right, so they showed off some Starfield, but big interesting news regarding it is some PlayStation fanboys have been mad. Now, this is very general because it's through Twitter, and Twitter is a fucking cesspool of degeneracy. So take it with a grain of salt, but people have been literally complaining because Starfield is going to be Xbox and PC exclusive. It's not going to be going to PlayStation players, which is good. So, but PlayStation players are mad that they can't have all the exclusives they want, even though Xbox hasn't got Ratchet & Clank, hasn't got Spider-Man, hasn't got all these games. It's just PlayStation players getting their fucking throwing whiny fits because there's this really cool exclusive that they can't play now because they've had it for like the past 8 years, all the good exclusives and shit.
Well, look, Microsoft is a devil, but Sony doesn't deserve your loyalty anymore.
No, yeah.
Sony deserved your loyalty up until they fucking didn't.
It blows me away that people will sit there and defend their loyalty to a company that literally sees them as dollar signs. Like, they don't give a flying fuck about you, and you're sitting here getting into like active internet wars over your loyalty to their brand. That fucking blows my mind away. It's like they feel like they're being personally attacked. Okay, whatever. So Starfield's coming out end of next year. Still a ways away, but we have a date, which is pretty cool. I still don't even think we have a date for the next Elder Scrolls game. So it's cool that we have a date for Starfield. I love space, so I will most likely try it. It is Bethesda, but it is Bethesda under Microsoft. So they may force them to get their shit in gear, so they're not releasing a game that's put together by Legos anymore. We'll see what happens, though.
Legos is being awfully generous. Most Lego structures hold up.
Mega blocks.
No, those hold up too.
Dynablocks.
Popsicle sticks.
And then like glue sticks. Not even like Elmer's glue, but like a glue stick. Like those shitty purple ones that never held anything together.
The cheap stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the one Duplo. There you go.
Those are like Mega Blocks, man.
No.
Those are better.
All right. Okay, so they show off some more Forza Horizon. No one gives a fuck. They show off Halo Infinite, though. Halo Infinite, after its initial showing, which wasn't all that good, it looks like they buckled down, and it looks really fun. I'm very excited after their showing of Halo Infinite recently compared to its initial release or its initial unveil, I guess. It looks fucking dope. I'm super excited to see where they go. They're making some interesting choices with the multiplayer too. Again, it will be free to play for all, which is really nice. It will be doing a battle pass system to monetize it, but they have an interesting thing. The battle passes they have won't be predatory, which is a really cool move off on the 343 guys. Basically, Shawn, you buy a battle pass, you never lose it. It's always there.
How does that work?
If you say you buy a battle pass and you stop playing the game for 5 years, if you come back, you still have the ability to put experience into that battle pass or put experience into the current battle pass for that season.
So you're just buying a different version of the game at that point. You're just buying an expansion to the game that allows you to do something.
I mean, they're just cosmetics.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but still,
yeah.
You're buying an expansion to a game that allows you to access cosmetics.
Yeah, it's like a cosmetic pack at that point. You just have to work to unlock it. So it's just so
I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, me neither. It's literally just
amazing how that works. Look at that. You gave something that's worth the value, and you're not gambling on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's literally just got to work for it, and that's it. So it's literally just buying a little cosmetic bundle, and then you just have to put some experience in to get to shit.
You're buying a grinding function.
Yeah.
That stuff that used to be in games anyway, but you have to pay for it now. But at the very least, it's not.
It's a free-to-play game.
You have to pay for it every couple of fucking months.
Yeah, I just think it's cool that it's non-predatory, which is nice. We appreciate the non-predatory microtransactions here.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you just included it in the fucking game like games used to. But I mean, it's a step in the right direction.
They said that there will be a base set of unlockable cosmetics. So the game will come out with the base set of unlockable cosmetics. The battle pass will be for further development. So I think it's a pretty good compromise, all things considered, especially since it's not preying on FOMO, which is a lot of what battle passes do. It's cool. I like it. I don't know if they'll have an in-game store. It will just be battle passes. We still have to wait and see. It still could very much be worse than what we've seen so far. We got release dates for Psychonauts 2, console version of Microsoft Flight Simulator for some fucking reason. An announcement of Outer Worlds 2, which is cool. I'm surprised it's coming as fast as it is because I thought the team that was working on this is a smaller Obsidian team. We're getting a game called Redfall from Arcane Austin, which looks like a vampire Left 4 Dead style game. I have no clue. That we just got a cinematic trailer. A game called Replaced, which I think is made by the same people that made Inside. Like the Limbo style game. I forget what it's called. And we saw we saw a sizzle reel for what was it called? Hellblade 2, which is coming out as well. So there's still some things we didn't see, like they had the Perfect Dark game that we haven't heard anything else about. The Fable 4 game we haven't heard anything else about. Elder Scrolls we haven't heard anything else about. But it still was a very strong showing from Xbox, and they're definitely placing their foot down like, hey, motherfuckers, you may have a reason to buy our games in a year, or buy our Xbox in a year. Although I have a PC, so I still have no reason. But definitely really excited for the Halo multiplayer. I have always enjoyed Halo multiplayer. So I can't wait to sit down and see how it is. It looks like they're adding a lot to the sandbox itself that makes it more interesting. A lot of new interesting vehicles. The grab hook itself is an interesting addition since everyone has one. You can use it to grab weapons off the floor, pick up explosive barrels, pull yourself to low-flying aerial vehicles, pull yourself to vehicles in general. It seems like it added an interesting dynamic play to the multiplayer experience. I don't know how it's going to work in the single player yet, but they showed off. Apparently, there's another Cortana or some shit going on. I don't fucking know what's going to happen in the single player. I'll probably get it on Game Pass. Pay like $1 for it, whatever the fuck. But yeah, I thought Xbox had a very strong showing, and it's probably up there. Them and Nintendo are very close. In what they showed. I think Nintendo might be a little bit above. I don't know. It would depend. Next is Square Enix. Oh boy. So Square Enix made the interesting idea, Shawn. So Square Enix is making Guardians of the Galaxy game. Kind of looks like
I heard.
Kind of looks like Uncharted, with some combat. All in all, it looks okay. I don't know how good it will be, but it definitely doesn't look bad at the very least. It doesn't look like. But then again, when we first saw Avengers, I mean, to be honest, I think people straight out the gate were being like, this looks like it might be bad for Avengers. I don't know what we thought about it when we first saw the reveal. I remember being
we weren't impressed with the video.
I remember being like not like super optimistic about the experience. But this game looks good. It looks at least better than what that was. And they showed full-on gameplay and stuff. I mean, they did for the original too. But again, obviously, Marvel titles in Square's name.
The original Avengers thing, they didn't show any gameplay. They just showed cutscene shit with Captain America apparently dying or something. They didn't tell you anything about it for like a year.
I know.
And then when they finally did show video footage, it was bad.
Okay.
Of the gameplay.
Yeah. This isn't being made by the same team. It's a different team. I think it's being made by the people that did Deus Ex, the Deus Ex team, and they have a good pedigree for their video games, so it could be good. I don't know. But again, everyone looks at Marvel and Square Enix's name and a little shaky. They're definitely not super excited about picking titles up like that, so they got to kind of work to get that goodwill back from the player base, especially the Marvel community, because they really dropped the ball hard with the fucking Avengers game. So it looked good though. But an interesting thing, Shawn, throughout their entire stream, they replaced any type of copyright music. Okay? It just couldn't be understandable. So for when they were showing, obviously Guardians of the Galaxy will probably have a lot of copyright music. So they made their own tracks to kind of fit the theme of the gameplay in the trailer. But they come out and show off a bunch of other games, and they just take out the music. They don't replace it. So you have a fucking trailer for a game. This is supposed to sell you on it, by the way, with literally no fucking music. It's just the sound effects of the trailer. So you'll have I don't remember exactly what trailer it was, but there was a trailer they were showing off. And you know, like the cinematic effects they put in, like the wah that they do and shit like that? You heard all of that, but just none of the cinematic music. So it made everything super fucking dry, and it was fucking hilarious. I don't know who the hell sat down and is like, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do that. Either that or they didn't think about taking out the music till the last second, and then they just focused on the Guardians of the Galaxy presentation. But man, what a fucking ball drop. That made the whole experience fucking hilarious, but very unprofessional. Outside of that, they showed off Babylon's Fall, which was the rumored Xbox and Platinum's game collaboration from a long time ago, and we're finally seeing more. It does not look good. It looks very... I mean, the gameplay, it's hard to tell, right? But graphically and presentation-wise, it does not strike me as anything good. So I'm very skeptical about Babylon's Fall. I love Platinum, and I think they make incredible combat systems, and they've made some of my favorite games. So I might be willing, I'll be definitely watching it, see what people are saying, but god damn, it did not look good presentation-wise. Holy shit. So finally, Shawn, the biggest meme of the whole thing. Biggest meme. Got a new Final Fantasy game. Shawn, are you excited?
No.
No? Why not? It's your favorite.
Every time they announce a new Final Fantasy game, it's a dumpster fire.
Okay, so this is called Stranger of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origin. So now,
is this the fucking first soldier thing where it's a
no,
fucking it's
even
Fortnite?
worse, even worse, Shawn. So this is basically a retelling in a way of the original Final Fantasy's story.
Okay, that's got me interested.
But it's being made by Team Ninja, and it's a Souls-like game.
What? That doesn't work. There's four crystal bears.
Okay. So you're not actually from what I understand, you're not actually the Warrior of Light. You are some other dude named Jack, I think.
How the fuck is it retelling? That has nothing to do with it. Shh. I don't want any more of your lies.
No, this is full truth, baby. And it's fucking hilarious because the trailer was cringe as shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like the whole time, it was like basically like if you dropped a bucket of razors inside a Hot Topic and like had a fucking whatever. This is falling apart. It's edgy as fuck. Edgy as fuck. Like the whole time, the main character Jack, I think, who's dressed like he fell through a target on the way over to his Final Fantasy experience. Shawn, I'm actually going to show you. You want to see what Jack looks like? I think his name is Jack. Final.
I don't want to see it.
No, you're gonna see it because I need your raw reaction. I need that emotion.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to.
I feed off of it.
Square and I don't have a relationship anymore.
But the good thing about this is everyone thinks this is dog shit. Like, at least with 15, there's like a split, but like everyone has like cried out as a community that this looks like dog shit. I think he looks even worse than a Final Fantasy 15 character, to be honest. But holy shit. Okay, wait. What's his name? Is it not Jack? John? It's a stupid name.
In the live show chat.
I'm going to put it there in a second. I need to find a picture of him. It looks bad, too. Like, it's very much not polished visually. It looks pretty, like, very, very much like shitty color palette. Nasty. Now, one good thing, before I shit all over the game, is I've heard the combat is actually pretty fucking cool. And there's some interesting implementations of certain systems. Like, it kind of has a 14 flow where, I mean, 14 doesn't exactly work like this, but when you do your combos, you have proficiency with certain weapons. You can change your job or your class mid-fight, right? I'm talking about his clothes, not the character. Donatello. But I get what you're saying. But you can change your job mid-fight. So you can go from fighting as a Dragoon, and at the end of your combo, switch jobs to like a Black Mage and do stuff from distance, which is kind of cool. And then they also have an interesting Blue Mage kind of system in place, or when you block, if you get a thing called
looks like a character from Grand Theft Auto or some shit.
That's not him. If you get a thing from, if you get a perfect parry, that's him. I need his clothes, bro. I don't want his fucking face.
Fuck, is he gonna go play tennis?
After he gets his mani-pedi, bro. I need his clothes.
His hair doesn't look like it's attached.
Look at the dude in the middle. This man fell through a fucking... He's got boxing gloves on. This man fell through a fucking target on the way to kill Chaos.
Did he get a brand deal with Aeropostale?
I hope so. For the level of memeing, I fucking hope so, bro.
Yeah, like an SFM.
Oh my fucking god, he looks ridiculous. He looks so fucking ridiculous.
What? Why is he wearing a t-shirt?
He's got to kill Chaos, Shawn. What the fuck?
He's wearing a t-shirt to kill Chaos, and you got one of the fucking what was that squad called in Kingdom Hearts? The ones with the black dresses on.
I know what you're talking about. They're like the Asians of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
the 13 or some shit.
One on the left, yeah. And then what is that dude on the right?
I don't know.
He kind of looks Final Fantasy-ish. That looks bad. That
it
doesn't
looks
look like it.
It looks.
And this
bad.
is a retelling of the original Final Fantasy.
It's a different spin on the story. I don't think it's the same characters. I don't think this guy.
Spin on the story. Go fuck off.
I don't think this guy is the Warrior of Light.
No, this conversation is over.
Yeah, I don't think he's the Warrior of Light. But it's funny because the whole trailer, he's like literally like
Warriors of Light. There were 4 of them.
Yeah, half the words said, like 50% of them are the word chaos. Like the whole time he's like, where's Chaos? I have to find Chaos. I have come here to kill Chaos. And that's the whole fucking trailer. It is so poorly put together. It's like a bad fan project or some shit. It was really surprising. And best part about it, Shawn, they're like, play the demo.
Where the hair isn't connected to the head and whatnot.
Play the demo today, Shawn, right? They released the demo. Beautiful. Everyone can try out their amazing game. Demo is a corrupted file.
They didn't check it first?
I guess not. So the file they put out was a corrupted file. It wasn't even playable. They fixed it. Yeah. They fixed it in a couple, I think it was a couple hours or some shit, but when it launched, it was a corrupted file. You couldn't even open the game.
Square doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
they're just Diet Ubisoft. Discount Sony. They might as well merge with Sony at this point in time. They give as much of a fuck about the people that give them money as Sony does. They just want to be a Western company now, but they're so bad at doing. I can't.
Oh damn! I was looking it up.
My head around how broken they are.
I was looking it up, and it was 2 days it was unplayable for, and the demo was a limited time thing. You could only play it to a certain day. They might have extended the end date. But they're also making remakes of
like Square was a crackhead, they'd suck your dick for a cheeseburger.
Probably. But I know they're also making like pixel perfect remakes of the first 6 games. That they're like upping the resolution and all that shit. It could literally be them re-releasing the phone games on PC and console. I can easily see that.
That's what they are right now.
They talked about Life is Strange True Colors. No one gives a fuck about Life is Strange.
A pixel for pixel fucking up-resed version of the original games. I have perfect versions of the original games 20 times over on every platform. I've got them on Switch. I've got them on my phone. I don't need that. If they were going to do something with the original games, remake them, story intact, with the kind of visuals that you see in Final Fantasy VII, but don't turn them into what you did to Final Fantasy VII. Give us an updated version of the original games. Let us go back, but get to see it differently.
Was it Final Fantasy that showed off the remakes to? Oh, that was Nintendo showed off the remakes to Combat Wars, or was it Advanced Combats? Advanced Combat? What the fuck is that game series called? I only played like one of them. Whatever. But that for some reason that you guys they're talking about tactics and Advance Wars. They're talking about tactics.
Oh, Advance Wars was not.
No. This is Nintendo. I'm getting ahead of myself because they're talking about tactics in the chat. They also did not show any. They didn't show any of Forspoken, which was originally Project Athia, the one with the chick and the dragon thing that looked pretty cool. That had a lot of like parkour kind of I don't know. It looked really dope. And then they haven't showed anything of the new Final Fantasy coming out. The 16.
Recreate the original games and expand them and stay faithful to
I would think it'd be really cool.
Give us more.
I think it'd be really cool if they gave them like an Octopath Traveler kind of vibe where like everything's like in Unreal and the sprite system's still there, but like all the backgrounds are like beautifully made and like 3D and shit.
They could do a different style on each one and I'd be down with it, but I'm looking for
like a full remake, like 7.
They fully realize the world more like they did in 7, but not change the game like they did in 7. Give me the turn-based combat, but maybe you improve it, but it's still turn-based combat. You might incorporate something like they did with Grandia or something along those lines. Like Grandia had a really interesting take on turn-based combat. You could incorporate so many things to make it faster moving for those that want it faster moving. You could do so many things to make it more fluid for people who aren't as comfortable with something that's more steadily paced, but they're not interested in doing that. They want to give you fucking Devil May Cry.
Yeah. I'm still interested to see what 60 ends up being, mostly because Yoshi P's behind it, and I think he's a really good developer, so I think there'd be love in the project. It may not.
There might be, but I don't think he belongs on 7 or I'm not on 7. But I don't think he belongs in the mainline series. The things he's talked about wanting to do are not what I want to see in the fucking game. Like, I think he's.
Well, I mean, we've had this full discussion. Yeah.
I love Yoshi P, but I don't want him fucking doing that shit.
Yeah, because he's not gonna make a fucking turn-based game. It's just not his style. 100%. I get what you're saying. I personally don't give a fuck about if it's turn-based or not because I've found other companies that will do that for me and give me that itch. It just sucked. Again, we've
storytellers are still good, not counting Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, we don't talk about Final Fantasy 13. So Square Enix really fucking dropped the ball like hard. Because even like they had like unprofessional shit inside of their stream. So like you talk about these other streams, they didn't show off a lot, but still. Like, it felt like an actual fucking E3 experience. The Square one was a yikes and a half. So, finally.
Did they have the Japanese team here, or was it handled by the American Square Enix team?
Probably the American side. I'm not too sure. I don't know. But next we move on to Nintendo, which a lot of people think have the strongest showing. I can agree with it being at least on the same level as Xbox, but I think, I don't know. I might be how biased I am towards Halo. I fucking love Halo, and I thought their Halo showing was really good. And also, they showed off a lot of, what's it called, too? Elden Ring and shit, and Starfield, and I really love space games. So I could kind of see them being really close. But, so Nintendo, major. Again, Nintendo is pretty much just a what do they call those things? They're Nintendo Treehouse. They have a Treehouse event. So it's not like E3 itself, but they just kind of align it with E3, so it's all around the same timeline. But they do.
One that started calling it a Treehouse?
What?
Wasn't it Reggie the one that started calling it Treehouse? Wasn't that his thing?
I think so, yeah. But
I kind of miss his clueless ass just a little bit.
Yeah, I like his face. He's very like punchable and lovable at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he knew what he was talking about ever, but I feel like his heart was in the right place in terms of like he really tried to pretend like he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. All right. So we have so Nintendo came out, talked about some shit. They showed off a new Smash Bros. Character. Shawn, guess who's in Smash Bros. Now?
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. I don't know. Their choices have been dumb as shit recently.
That'd be cool. They have Kazuya from Tekken in there though, and they had a
yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I know that.
They had a really cool. They had a really cool
shit to put in there. Now.
They had a really cool. I mean, they're paying homage to like what got them to where they are. I like that they're having characters from like. I mean, Tekken 7 was. I mean, he's been in a bunch.
I adore Bayonetta as a character. I adore her games, but she does not.
Riley Reid in Smash Bros. Yikes.
In a Nintendo flagship title, like that is all wrong. Like I would not want. Like I guess I'm just looking at this from a logical perspective. Nintendo will always be like 75% aimed at kids.
Yeah, deadass.
Smash Brothers is absolutely aimed at kids, and Bayonetta should never be on their radar. That is not a game for them.
I don't know if I would consider Smash aimed at kids. I don't know.
Smash Brothers has been a kids game since Jump. Or I should
it may have started as one, but I don't think that's what it is today. I don't know. But they added Kazuya from Tekken.
Fan kids who love their fucking Switch and find the ones that don't have a copy of Smash.
I don't think that is not how data works. I don't think that's how you. I don't think that like equate like correlation is not like causation. I don't think that's how it fucking works. But that's like saying, oh yeah, dude, I got my Switch that came with Mario Party. So now every Mario Party game is built to kids. Kind of get it's not. I know it's not exactly what it was, but it's not the same thing. You could tell because it's made by Nintendo. Checkmate. True. I can go on the Japanese Nintendo store and buy a game. Everyone, shut the fuck up. I can buy a game that simulates the feeling of a fucking titty in my hand.
Turn it up. E10
and it is on a fucking Nintendo console. I don't want to hear it.
E10 it up. E10 it up.
I don't want to hear it.
Snake should not have been in there, and Bayonetta absolutely should not have been in there.
The only thing about Bayonetta is you see her ass.
What?
Peach got an ass. She got a fucking badonkadonk. Like, what about Bayonetta? What about Bayonetta in Smash? Not in Bayonetta, but in Smash is above E10 and up. Huh?
Putting Bayonetta in there brings the question, like, what other games can I find this character in?
They had Bayonetta on the Wii U, bro.
Yes, in her own game, which was not marketed towards kids.
It was what, teen?
Yes.
I don't know.
Actually, I think that might have been mature. I don't remember what.
No, it was definitely not.
Had it.
It was definitely not. Bayonetta. I'm pretty sure Bayonetta's always been a
probably teen.
Bayonetta.
She never comes out right, and it's all implications with her.
Yeah.
And Windows.
Oh, the first one was rated M, but it wasn't on the Wii. So. What about the second one?
They did release it on Wii U.
Maybe the second one was T, and that's what I'm stuck on. Oh, that's also rated M. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Look at you, Nintendo. Why though?
Have you played
the blood. Them? Yes. I don't know. Maybe my
it's like
my definition of M. No, it isn't. Shut the fuck up.
No, you don't understand, man. It's an adult concept. You don't stick that shit in a game that also includes Mario and Link. It's mixed messaging. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm glad I get to play her, but like it just doesn't make any sense to me the choices they're making.
I think the ultimate way to end this
characters, they own that.
I wonder if they have a like. I mean, there's no way to tell for sure, but I don't give a fuck. The fact that Bayonetta is in it, by your definition, would mean that it is no longer something that's marketed towards kids because Bayonetta is fucking in it. So even if it's rated E10,
your statement makes no sense, Kyle.
What the fuck are you talking about? I think the only way we end this conversation is seeing. It'd be hard to find, but they had some kind of census of the people that play this game, what their age range is. That's what I need to see. Because if you say we did throw Riley Reid in Smash Brothers, right? Then at that point, I wonder if that E10. I wonder if they, when it originally came out before Bayonetta, did they have to resubmit that to ESRB because Bayonetta was in there? I wonder. Bayonetta is locked behind DLC. You have to pay for her. Chat's freaking out. Bayonetta NSFW. They have mods. You can find them. You want a really low poly titty in your Switch? You guys know where to go. Yeah, but if you were to make a Switch game, and originally it has Mario in it, right? But you add, I don't know, Doom Guy, which everyone's been talking about adding. I should add Doom Guy, where the fuck. And he can rip Mario in half. Is that game still marketed towards kids at that point? Not marketed.
My Nintendo would never cross their character.
No, not with Doom, no.
It would never put Mario in a position for that to happen.
Dude, imagine seeing Mario get ripped in half.
I think that it's, again, I like the game as it is. I like being able to, like Sephiroth and all that. I like having those more mature characters in there. But it clashes with the idea of Smash to me.
I can see that more than...
The idea of Smash does not make sense to have Solid Snake and Bayonetta and these darker, more mature themed characters in there, Sephiroth and Cloud. It doesn't make sense to have them in there. It really just doesn't. It clashes with the entire idea. Considering the huge catalog of characters that they could bring in, like Banjo and Kazooie makes sense. Those characters make sense. Bringing in Mega Man made sense. Not only that, but Mega Man's early career was intimately tied with Nintendo. But to jump into things that either have not been on the platform or have been on the platform but were marketed specific, and my only point was this, that were marketed towards a much older audience, a more mature audience, it doesn't make sense to stick them in there, because if it was me playing Smash and my favorite character is now this chick Bayonetta, I'm going to want to find the games she came from. And then I'm going to find out that I'm not supposed to be playing the games that she came from.
I mean, I could see it from like the 64, but like from, was it Brawl on, when they started introducing these characters, because games evolve and franchises evolve, wouldn't you consider
character in until the Wii, and that was Snake?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's Brawl, or is that Brawl? What was that game called? Was it Brawl, the one on the Wii?
I believe, yeah, Brawl, because Melee was on.
Melee was GameCube.
GameCube.
I think Brawl was the Wii.
Smash.
But at that point,
I do not believe that any of these
I'm not saying
are adult titles.
Yeah, I'm not
broad generational titles. They're all 10 and up.
I'm not saying whether or not, but the fact that the franchise has evolved to a point where they're adding these characters, wouldn't it be considered at that point to be made for a larger audience span? Why are we Googling Beyblades at Amazon?
Sure.
Why, chat? Stop with the $25 for a Beyblade. Let me see that.
What?
They're adding a Beyblade to Smash, Shawn.
Are you fucking serious?
No, I'm fucking with you. All right, let's actually finish our fucking discussion here. So
that's soulless.
They're adding Tekken's Kazuya. I would not be
surprised if they added Beyblade. I'm just saying.
Hey, bro, Beyblades are OP, bro. Moses split the Red Sea with a Beyblade. That's canon. So, fucking
that's
get out
where
of here.
The term "let her rip" comes from.
Oh.
Let her rip, he hath said.
Yeah.
And God wept.
I can see why. All right, so it was cool how they showed him off, because you know how he does a thing where he fucking likes to drop people into volcanoes and shit. They had him dropping.
Well, he's already killed his father, and he killed June, and he's killed several other characters.
Yeah, he threw Ganondorf in the volcano. He threw the chick from ARMS in the volcano. He tried to throw Kirby in the volcano, but it's Kirby, so he got back out. They also showed off Metroid Dread, which actually looks really good. 2D Metroid game coming out. It's the 5th mainline Metroid game. They said fucking nothing about Metroid Prime 4, so I was sad, but I was also excited because it's another 2D Metroid game that's like new. It's not like a remake like we got with the DS game.
Mix up the formula with that one.
I know that they have some of the things that they brought back from when they remade the second game or whatever. Like they had like a parry system they added and shit like that. But for the most part, what I saw, it didn't even look all that pretty.
It ain't broke, don't fix it attached. Like, I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm so tired of them.
Yeah, I'd be down with that too.
Things that I'd take it.
It's cool too because like it's themed differently. A lot of the times when you play these type of games, you'll like start somewhere and progress through the map. But they were explaining the way it is like you've been separated from your ship and you're like at the in the center. And the way it works is the map expands outwards instead of going like in a certain direction or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But I also like the music for it. It was very like because there's like these weird AI things that are trying to kill you. It was actually kind of spooky, and it did like a good job of building that kind of unnerving atmosphere that usually is present in Metroid titles. So I'm excited to try it. I think it'd be pretty good, and I think I'd never played the remake that they made. It's the same team, but I heard nothing but good things about it. So I could see it being good. They actually played the game during the treehouse at the end of it, and it looked pretty fun. I'm excited to give it a try. What else? They're making another WarioWare game, which is pretty cool. But they're actually making it where it's fucking multiplayer. So instead of like one person doing it, you can actually have games that you can play with like two people, which is kind of cool. Then they also showed off the Advance Wars reboots. The first and second game are being remade. Look very nice, very exciting. What else? We didn't see anything from Metroid Prime 4. They showed off the Zelda Game & Watch handheld. They also, apparently, the Guardians of the Galaxy game will be coming to the Switch. God bless. Have fun with that. I don't know how that's going to fucking work. Shawn, they actually had a fucking trailer. It kind of blew me away. They had a trailer for a Fatal Frame game. It's not a new one. It's like the remake of the one that was on the Wii U, I think. Is the Dust?
Didn't you tell me they were? Oh, the most
Black
recent
Maiden
one.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be really good. Just nobody got to play it. Yeah. I wanted to play it, and I didn't.
Yeah, it's coming to Switch, so that's exciting. I never played it either.
Oh, good.
Yeah. What else is going on? They showed off Shin Megami Tensei 5, which looks really cool. The only thing is they had the English dub, and it was pretty fucking ass. So usually I'm not.
Play it on that anyway,
yeah, I usually play in Japanese, but it's just like usually with a trailer you're trying to sell your experience. So I don't know why you wouldn't just. I mean, the people that you're marketing to here are weeb as fuck in the first place. So I'm sure a good percentage of people that will be playing this will be doing it in the Japanese voiceover. So why not just have that in the first place? I don't know. Maybe they had some kind of other metric, but the person that did that voiceover, I don't know. It was funny. I was talking to Lark about it. And we were like agreeing about it. He's like, oh yeah, they just pulled one of the art asset guys or girls and be like, hey, I need you to read this fucking off this fucking napkin or some shit, please. So I don't know. It looks really fucking good though. It looked a little, I don't know how to say this. It's probably because Persona's so fucking stylized. It looked kind of washed out, I guess. I don't know how to say it. Very bland in the color palette, I guess. Although a lot of the stuff they're showing off is like the other side of Tokyo, and it's like all fucking sand and apocalyptic and shit. So maybe there's other areas you go to that are a bit more colorful. I know it's like not that type of game, but just because it's a kind of depressing experience doesn't mean you can't have some color in it here and there. And you could use color in good ways. I just need variation. And it was all sand, and it looked pretty like washed out. Kind of reminded me of like Breath of the Wild.
I wouldn't give in just yet because they tend to the SMT team. Then there's I think 3 or 4 of them different that work on different projects. And they do cross over as well. But I know that the guys that tend to work on Persona games usually are not entirely the same group that works on the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games. And Tensei does not have the same look ever as Persona. It's always had a more, I don't want to say a flat appearance.
And to be fair,
but it's cel shaded. It's always been very cartoonish.
Yeah, to be fair to
anime style.
To be fair to Shin Megami Tensei, Persona doesn't particularly look good graphically or technically. No. It's just there's like so much fucking
straight up anime styling though.
There's so much style to the games, even outside of the anime style, just like with everything else that they do. There's a very heavy style and theme they go for every time they release a new Persona game.
Did you see the artwork for Nocturne when I talked about it?
What do you mean artwork?
It doesn't look like Persona.
No, yeah, everything I've seen from Shin Megami Tensei is not as stylized as Persona is. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's not.
It's a different.
It's a different approach.
Yeah, the SMT games tend to be darker.
Yeah. Of course, they didn't talk about anything about Metroid Prime. They didn't show anything about Bayonetta 3 or anything about Splatoon 3. And Splatoon 3, they actually announced, and we got a little bit of gameplay. They were walking through an area, like some kind of fucked up Paris, and they showed off the main hub, but we didn't see anything else of that. But that's just kind of one of the issues with the way Nintendo handles things, is they could just announce whatever the fuck, whenever the fuck. They don't really care. So E3, they probably just scrounged together some shit and threw it out there. There's nothing forcing them to show all their cool stuff on E3. Because they do their own thing. Same thing with Sony. They just release whatever, whenever. They don't give a fuck really about E3.
But Sony's releases are much less reliable than Nintendo's. Like, Nintendo's a soulless, soul-crushing, heartless monster. But their products tend to be good.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, they also showed off...
I'm not bitter.
They showed off Breath of the Wild 2. A little bit of it. And it looks okay. It definitely looks a lot more colorful in its presentation. That's one big issue I had with Breath of the Wild, is that it was very bland. It felt, everything felt like it was the same shit when you were traversing the overworld. And I saw a lot more color in this trailer, so I don't know. Link looks cool. His new design looks dope. I hope you get to play as Zelda.
Link, though, right?
It's the same exact story. It's just later in the future. There's still shit going on, from what I understand. There's like
not going to let this incarnation of Link rest, are they?
No, yeah. I mean, he rested for 100 years while his friends died. I don't know if it was 100 years, but he rested.
Well, that was entirely his fault. Zelda's the one that knocked his ass out.
Yeah. PlayStation didn't really do an E3 thing, but they talked about some stuff. I know they're doing a director's cut for Death Stranding.
Okay.
There's an Axiom Verge 2 coming out.
Oh, good.
But we didn't really see a bunch of stuff from them. Obviously, they showed off Battlefield 2042. That game looks fucking amazing. I'm excited to see or play it. It comes out in October. It looks very much like a return to form to a modern, quote unquote, because it's 2042, a modern Battlefield experience. So we haven't gotten it in a while. We've been playing in the past for the last couple of titles. It's so funny with this thing. Everyone's been super excited because the trailer, the trailer did exactly what it did, right? It got the community riled up and hyped. They're like, oh yeah, Battlefield's coming back. This is like the gameplay and all this. And every time I've ever heard anything about it, like Shawn, the first comment every fucking time was like, remember, no pre-orders. Like, everyone's like, hey, let me remind you, it's fucking EA. Tread lightly. And I thought that was really interesting that there's all these people that have been burned so hard by EA in the past that they're like, guys, calm the fuck down. It's EA. Just approach this carefully. Like, I understand you're excited.
Recently made an entire video where the entire point in the video is EA is evil. Like, that was his whole fucking video. Yeah. The last good EA game I remember playing, like 100% really good game, was Mirror's Edge. That's how long ago that's like how long it's been since like EA has done something that I could respect.
Yeah, I like Battlefield. I don't know if Battlefield 4 was before or after that, because the first Mirror's Edge was a while ago. I like Battlefield 4. I've enjoyed Battlefield as a whole. The last like, I'm not a big fan of like World War II, or that era of shooters. I like the modern stuff more. So I'm excited for this game though, and I think it could be good. Hopefully DICE is a bit quicker on their response, because some of the issues that people had with the last Battlefield game is DICE was kind of slow with their response to players. For a long time, there were a lot of server issues. There were a lot of issues with the time to kill in certain instances, and it just took a while for some like definitive change to come out of DICE after the game had launched, and it kind of put off a lot of people. So, but I'm hype. They've got me on it. I'm interested to see where it goes. That like 128 player things on next gen. It's gonna be a cross gen title, so it'll be on PS4 too, but they're limiting that to 64. The maps look crazy. They're like the biggest maps they've made, which was good to fit the 128. But the problem with big maps is there's a lot of running. Good thing is you could spawn vehicles anywhere. I really hate vehicle combat in these games. I've never enjoyed it, but if you can spawn it anywhere, I need a Humvee to get to the fucking point. That's nice. I could spend some of my points or whatever the fuck.
A little weird. There's just boop, there's a vehicle.
Well, it's like airdropped in. Like you got yeah. It's not like you materialize it with your eyeballs and shit. But it just looks like a lot of fucking fun. They added a system where you could change your attachments on the fly. So that's cool. It's just there's a lot of interesting systems they have at play, and I've been kind of getting that itch to play a multiplayer shooter again because I haven't played one in a while. Yeah, they added a grappling hook, which looks cool. Another thing that sounds interesting and maybe a positive or a negative is they have these things called operators. And as far as we understand, they're kind of like how they work in Call of Duty. They really haven't showed all that much, where it's like a person, quote unquote. So like it'll be like a designed person, almost like a skin in a way, and they have their own tool set. I don't know how you unlock them, but some people are worried that like if there's no creation, like customization between between an operator, you can have 100 of one operator, and it's literally 100 of that dude running around, and that can kind of pull you out of the game a bit.
Yeah,
but
I just don't care.
They have their own yeah, they have their own unique abilities and stuff, and I could see it be interesting and adding a lot to the sandbox. And I am excited to play it, and I hopefully it's good. Hopefully it has crossplay
I like
too.
their Battlefield games that had plot, the ones that had levels and story. It was the Brotherhood or Band of Brothers or what the fuck was that game
Bad
called?
Company.
They made 2 of them. Bad Company.
Yeah, Bad Company games are
Those
phenomenal.
games I like.
They had really good multiplayer too,
weren't they?
Yeah.
Like that was a Battlefield games with the story.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they were spinoffs. I think they were mainline things. They just had their own story, and they had one and two of them.
I thought they were. It was like Battlefield Brotherhood or whatever. Like, I thought Battlefield was in the name. It could maybe not be.
It might have been. It could have been Battlefield Bad Company, and then Battlefield Bad Company 2.
I thought it was, but those were interesting, and that was DICE.
Yeah. This game's not gonna have any story. If you didn't pick that up, like there's no.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's just another fucking.
To be honest,
whatever.
When they do that shit, I really don't think the game should be $60 or $70. Like I understand you'll get your time out of it, but like it's just multiplayer, and then and then they still monetize it further for like further development. But fuck, man. But hey, I'm excited. There's a lot of cool announcements that have come out of E3. I can't fucking wait for some of these games. And some of these games are right on the corner, too. They showed off some of I think Xbox showed a little bit of Scarlet Nexus, and that comes out in like 3 fucking days. And I'm kind of pretty fucking excited to play that. Reminds me a lot of Astral Chain, actually. Just not really cool combat by Platinum, unfortunately. But I like the world in it. Looks pretty cool. And then we got fucking the new Dungeons and Dragons game right around the corner, Dark Alliance.
Hopefully I bought that like months ago.
I hope there's fucking crossplay between Microsoft Store and Steam, and I hate that I have to hope that. I don't know why that's not something that comes standard, that we're both on fucking PC. I should not have to worry about cross-launcher connections. That's fucking stupid. And now I can kind of understand a little bit more why people hate having so many launchers, if that is a problem amongst launchers. We haven't had that till recently. Like, you'd think that comes standard. Like, god damn it, bro. Like, every time we make a step forward with crossplay, we make like 2 steps back. Fucking dumb. Thanks, Sony. Nah. They've done a lot of dumb shit, but I can't put all it on them. A lot of times it's the devs, too. Like, or the publishers. Like, there's like so much work that has to be done, and sometimes you need a pretty solid back end for that shit to work.
Or a robust one where you can add it afterwards.
Yeah, but it has to be made.
Because a lot of times they don't add it in the beginning just because it's going to take too long and it'll push off the release date.
Yeah, but you can still
that they put in later.
Yeah, but you still have to like build it with it in mind. Usually, it's really.
Or you could be like Fat Shark, and Fat Shark doesn't give a shit. They'll say they're going to add it and not. Like, for all you that don't know, Fat Shark is a talented group of developers who are run by a bunch of stingy assholes.
Oh. Don't hate me, a stingy asshole. But yeah, that was.
I'm still gonna fucking buy that game when it comes out because they're not anywhere near like Ubisoft levels of bad. The new one, the 40K one.
Oh yeah. I'm
Darktide.
I'm gonna watch it, but I like the idea.
I love. Vermintide was good. Vermintide 2 was great. And if they learn from Vermintide 2 and do it even better with Darktide, I am fucking on that ship.
I love fucking 40K and the universe and all that, like that fucking like gothic. I don't even know how to fucking describe it, but like church with guns. It's fucking cool as shit. I love it.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
Like the Warhammer 40K universe is fucking broken on a level that Warcraft wishes it was.
Isn't 40K like don't they have like a whole race of orcs that are as strong as they think they are? Like or shit like that? Like they're so like their whole lore is that if they like Like almost like if they think to a degree. Like there was one thing that they got like all orcs were like that.
I'm not intimately familiar with the entire universe of 40K, but if I remember correctly, I think it's a cult.
I dead
It was a
ass.
religion or some shit like that.
Yeah, but I remember something
I
along the
thought they
lines.
took steroids or something.
I remember something along the lines that like the way their minds work. That if like they one war was won all because they demoralized the orcs and they all got weak as fuck because their mind wasn't in it. But if their mind was in it, it's just they're dumb as shit. So like it's really easy to beat them in a battle. But if they were able to get their head on something, it like makes them OP as fuck or some shit. They're like really fucking goofy.
I know that when you're well, the whole thing comes from a tabletop or like strategy game, right? And orcs and goblins have a super high failure rate. So like their machines, their units, they're all incredibly cheap because they all have point values. And you'll play like say a 50,000 point game, and you can put as many units and pieces, any piece, any unit you want, as long as you don't exceed that point value, right? And
Okay.
the orcs and goblins are super cheap.
Mm.
So they have these crazy machines, and like you can get all these really great units on the field, but they all have like a failure rate. They all
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like a caveat. So whereas I don't know if what you're saying is accurate, it would make absolutely perfect sense to have a unit on the field that can easily lose their morale check, and all of a sudden their stats are cut in half.
Yeah, Marshall said that there's a canon story of a group of guardsmen who ran out of ammo, so they started using finger guns, and they were actually killing the orcs. So it's like whatever they perceive and believe in their head, like dead ass will come true and shit like that. Orc lore is that they all have innate magic and zero clue. So interesting. That's fucking goofy as shit. I love it though.
Yeah, it's the same way with 40K as it is with the fantasy Warhammer with those units. Like that's why when you see somebody playing dwarves or the elves or the Eldar or whatever the fuck they're called, any of the other races, they've got a lot less pieces in play than somebody who's playing one of the greenskin races, because the greenskin races just have huge disadvantages to go along with their sheer numbers.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that was E3. I appreciate.
I've never played it, but I've known people that have.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm super excited because I like that style of games, and I think the world and atmosphere they can create with those, especially in 40K, would be cool as fuck. And now that they have, like, we played one like that called like Deathwing or Hulk something. It was kind of like that.
Space Hulk?
Space Hulk, yeah.
But it's
very
an ongoing series for like fucking 30
very
years.
fucking. The ones that we played were very fucking like AA though. I'm not saying that Vermintide isn't.
Most of your Games Workshop games are AA games.
Yeah, Warhammer's just
a niche market.
Yeah, very much so. But like they feel like kind of janky and stuff. So, fucking, it'd be cool to see. I don't know. And 9 times out of 10, the community is there. There'll be people playing the fucking games. It's just, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with that. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks dope. And we got some. I can't fucking wait for this week to roll through and we play some cool games. Hopefully, me and Shawn can get some time in Dark Alliance before next week, and we can talk about it on the show. But
I'm psyched.
Yeah, it's literally Tuesday. But
I already know the story. I just want to see what they do. Like
I watched Shroud play it.
Almost weekly videos on their progress and what they've been trying to do up to launch. And their final polishing and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, it's a brand new dev team, but they've made games before. They just never worked together before. Like they're all from other studios.
Cool. Yeah, man. Pretty fucking pog.
Aren't they like Polish or some shit? I don't fucking remember.
Probably. You know what? They also showed off that I didn't talk about. Atomic Heart. That game looks dope as shit. It looks basically like BioShock, but the dude that created the monsters fucking took like a bunch of tablets of LSD before he put the pen to paper, and you got all these weird fucking like creations. But something about that, like, it's just so uniquely odd that it just makes you want to kind of explore the world and see what the fuck's around the next corner. It's got me so engaged from just the few couple videos they've played. I heard that it was kind of having some problems with development earlier, but I mean, they felt confident enough to show a fucking full-on like trailer for it still, so I'm sure it's still on and still getting worked on. But it looks cool as shit. I'm really excited for Atomic Heart. I love games like that. Just fucking unique oddities that you get to play through.
Does it still have that distinct horror feel that BioShock had? I haven't seen the imagery. I'm just curious.
It's outside a lot, but it's unnerving at the very least. You get this uneasy feel.
So I would love to see a BioShock style game with that same kind of like horror vibe. Maybe not necessarily a straight up horror game, like BioShock was very much a hybrid of things, but where you can play with like two people, you can go in together and have it, because I miss those games that adapt to the number of players and how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to see a game like that that gets harder and meaner the more players you have.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool even they built it where like maybe they had a system where it wasn't even that kind of like, and kind of combining with what they did with Infinite, where maybe keep all the values the same, right? Like the ammo count, all that shit the same, but you can like actively share shit with each other. So like how in Infinite, I don't remember the name of the chick, but she can throw you ammo she found on the field. Like you can do that to your teammate. So like you're sitting there and you guys have a combined pool of resources that you have to share and kind of like manage between each other and just leave. That'd be
like pretty... not have stuff instanced to make it more difficult. So like if you find ammo, that's all the ammo you have between the two of you, because that was a big thing in BioShock, was like the survival horror element, like inventory management and carrying, making sure you've got enough for whatever gun you're carrying.
And then for that, they don't even have to, outside of some of the levels and enemy encounters, they don't really even have to design where they place shit. They could literally make it a single player game, keep everything else the same, but just make it when you bring someone in, you're just sharing all the resources that exist there for the single player experience. That'd be kind of fucking cool. And then make it obviously where it's not too intrusive. Like if someone needs to throw you ammo, they just throw it at you and it gets sucked into your ass or whatever the fuck. So you're not like getting, imagine like fucking your friend over because like an animation plays, like he's about to get picked up by a big daddy or some shit. And you throw him an ammo thing. He's like, oh, thanks, man. And you do the cool animation to catch it. And then you turn around and get fucking curb stopped by the fucking big daddy. Oh, man. That'd be cool as shit, though. I love when horror attempts to do co-op. I think it's cool as shit. Like I remember it was very hard to play because it was basically like a total conversion mod for Half-Life, but it was called Cry of Fear. Really fucking cool game. It's free on Steam. I recommend you play it. It's really cool. Talking to the community. Got a cool story. Very, very fucking downer. Like you're not gonna feel good playing it, but like really cool enemy design, terrifying, and just a really fun experience. But they had a co-op mode you can play where it's like a what-if scenario and you're a group of cops going in. And I just love horror with a second person. I just think it adds such an interesting like dynamic to playing. It makes it difficult because you're more reliant on the atmosphere compared to like jump scares, because a lot of those things are like scripted, right? 9 times out of 10 they're like scripted experiences.
It's free and it's already it's installing right now.
Oh yeah, it's such a good thing. I don't know if the co-op thing, because it's like server based, it's very weird. It's all like it's very much jank as fuck, but I don't know how the multiplayer works. But me and Tyler tried to play it and we had some issues getting it to work. But it was fun when we had it going, and it's fucking creepy, bro. I'll download it too if we have a night we can play it. Doing this we're making plans on stream. But it even if you sit down just to play the original single player game, it's very Silent Hill. It's very inspired by those titles, and it just shows all the love to those things. It's super fucking good. It's only 4 gigs too. I'm downloading it. All right. We're fucking 2.5 hours in, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. We appreciate everyone for hanging out. If you tuned into the recording, what was your favorite experience of E3? Which one did you think absolutely shit the bed? What was your favorite moments, most memeable, whatever you thought? What game are you the most excited for? Please let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're gonna go ahead and move to the end though. Shawn.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Kisses and all your pink parts.
Hiya. Hiya. I'm gonna kiss my Shawn pillow extra hard tonight. Thinking about that. I don't have effect, so I'm wasting time. Let's see. You know how we do. Really good at wasting time here. Fuck. The problem is we're getting to a point where I've read a lot of these. And I'll look at one and be like, oh shit, that's cool. Oh, wait, I've read that. Here we go. I don't think I've read this one. I don't think so. All right. So, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you let someone know you love them. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up, though. I shall leave you all with a thought. The average life of a taste bud is 10 days.